I think we probably see Selma's hands are trembling. My hands are trembling. And as we walk towards the doors of the hospital, I pull out my KIA and I send a shaky message to Skiff. Bad news about Anne at hospital. Bob in car. Send. And I kind of breathe out, put it in my pocket. Sawyer, I trust you. I trust you, and I trust my squad. I don't think Bob is in a good way right now. I don't think I'm in a good way right now. I mean, my heart is pounding, so I'm just going to tell you this right now. I think Skiff absolutely needs to know about this. He's way closer with Natalie than I've ever been. I just don't know if I can handle my shit talking to somebody like that right now. This is a huge deal. It's a huge deal. And I want you safe. I want you safe.
We need to figure out exactly who she works for.
Yep.
Yeah. Skiff's your partner,
yep.
Not mine.
Yep.
You think he's too close to her? You think he's gonna be blindsided if the truth's not something that he likes?
I'm not sure. What I do know is that he's capable of a lot more empathy than I think I could be in this moment. So I must look at this through a sense of logic and do this methodically and not look at someone as a criminal or a machine. At this point, if you zoom in on my hands, you can see I'm just kind of I've worn down one of the hangnails on my thumbs and I'm kind of picking at it and it's starting to bleed.
I hand you a little piece of almost like paper cardstock. It's completely blank on both sides. And I take out of my pocket a small, from the same material, a little folded paper crane. It's a less destructive ways of fidgeting.
Yeah. Are you offering it to me?
I'm offering you a blank piece of paper.
Okay.
Seems like I have a couple of these in my pocket.
I
just
it.
take one at random and hand it to you.
Okay. And I start kind of like bending in the corners. I'm not really making a pattern, but I just sort of bend it in. Kind of like you do with like the paper from a straw. You know, like you did it when you were a kid at little tables. Fold it in, fold it back out. I'm nervous, Sawyer.
Yeah, me too.
But I want you to know that you can rely on me, even through that. And I think at this point, I feel like I can rely on you. So, I'm worried about Bob a little bit, because I see myself in him, and part of that scares me.
Is it maybe because you threatened to kill me, or is it something else?
Oh yeah. Although that felt like fear and bravado and just generally being an asshole, and I wonder where that comes from. I'm sorry that he put you through that. I'm sorry you're having to go through so much at this point.
We're all frustrated right now. But the woman in this room put me in a position where people are trying to kill me. So,
yeah.
And she's setting me up to take the fall for whatever it is she's setting me up for.
Yep.
So I'm angry too.
Yep.
I just want some answers.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Conversation with her can't hurt.
Okay. You want to head inside?
Yeah.
Are you ready? Okay. And I look down and I see I've kind of made a little kind of triangle. It looks like an isosceles, sort of like, oh look, it's like a little star thing. That's nice.
I'll show you how to fold a crane later if you want. I did this one on
I'd love
right
that.
over.
You know, I've always thought like how they do that, like in restaurants with like napkins, like it's so fancy. I just wonder how they make it look so nice. If you teach me, that would be. I'd like that.
Of course.
Yeah.
I used to bite my nails as well.
Bad habit. Bad habit. All right, in we go. And I heading through the doors. I hold it open.
And are you heading straight for her room, or are you stopping along the way? Are you talking to anybody else?
Do I have the room information? Do I know
yeah,
the
because
room?
I think, well, yeah, she's LAPD, so absolutely. You would.
Okay.
You don't have to talk to anybody if you don't want to.
Okay. I know that I've got my badge on me just in case anybody does stop me, but I probably. I think in order to keep it less. I think at this point, Selma is myself. I'm a little aware of how things can look with police officers, with LAPD, with people that are on a mission. So I want this to look as informal almost as possible. So I go up to the front desk and I ask just to make sure. I'm sorry. Could you direct me to and what's her last name? Because that's going to
Amano.
evade me.
Yeah.
Could you direct me to Natalie Amano's room, please?
Oh, absolutely. And she begins typing into the computer. Actually, they're mostly analog now. They don't rely on the computer. So she probably is flipping through a book and looking through with her pen. She scans the page. Room 302.
Okay.
Just
great.
down the hall
Thank
that
you
way.
so much. Oh, gotcha. Thank you. And I start heading that way. Oh man, I ran over my headphone cable. I start heading down the hallway, and I'm guessing Sawyer's we're together. Heading down, okay.
Yeah, I'm right there behind you.
Smells like a hospital. It's the same absolutely everywhere. You could walk into any hospital, and it always smells the same. My shoes kind of squeak from the rain on the floor as we walk.
I'm digging my hands into my pockets and kind of sinking into this jacket that's definitely a few sizes too big for me as we keep on walking.
And then I spilled it all over myself, and it was super embarrassing. But it turns out Eldon didn't even remember. It was ridiculous.
I think it's this room. I peek my head in and I knock on the door.
Well,
Knock.
that's what you get, I guess.
I guess so. Oh,
Hi. Sorry.
hello.
Wasn't sure if I'd find you here or not, Skiff. Hi, Natalie. Good to see you.
Good to see you
this
too.
This is my friend here. We just thought we'd come have a chat with you also.
Mr.
that's
Clark,
okay.
nice to see you.
Hey, Nat.
Hello?
Regular family reunion around here.
I guess so. LAPD party?
Yeah. I mean, it kind of seems that way. It's a little awkward, but you mind if we have a seat over here? It looks like
No,
there's a couple
but
chairs
yeah,
available.
Please.
Okay, great.
Have a seat.
All right.
I was just telling the story about how I embarrassed myself in front of Holden, but he doesn't even remember, so I got away with it.
Okay.
How long have we been talking? How long have I been here? I came directly here after my conversation with Gaylen.
Oh. And your conversation with Gaylen was happening the same time as them discovering me. So I'd say probably it took them probably a bit, 30, 40 minutes. So
Okay.
I'd say about 30 minutes we've been talking.
Okay.
Seems about right.
Okay. I was not expecting to see you guys here.
Likewise.
Same to you.
actually. Yeah, it's funny how things work out like that. But yeah, we just been running around finding out some interesting things today, and we're just curious, how some of it might be affecting our case. And actually, Natalie, I think that's where you come in.
Okay.
Yeah.
How so?
Real quick, I'm scanning the room for obvious places to put a listening device.
Go
and
ahead.
I'm just trying to see if I can identify anything at a glance.
Go ahead and roll.
Observation.
That is correct.
Double ones.
Wow.
Why you don't? I don't know why, but you are just you don't find anything. So why is that? I'll let you describe why.
Because as much as I'm trying to focus on this, I just want to stare at her. So any time that I'm spent not looking at Nat and studying her face is just time that I'm distracted.
Okay. Okay. Oh, what?
Natalie.
Yes. What can I
It's
help
okay.
you with?
I like you. I mean, I've known you for some time. I know Skiff and y'all have known each other for some time. But I think we're gonna just need some answers to some questions, if that's okay. This would really help us in our investigation.
Okay, sure.
So,
I mean, I told you pretty much all I could remember.
okay, you can remember. Okay. Well, what I'm curious about is that there is some security footage of you. It looks like you're entering a storage room, one of the back rooms that has been accessed in some time, and it looks like you, for some reason, were fiddling around with the terminal. And I'm just wondering what you might have been doing in there.
When was this?
Ooh. Narrator, do I recall directly, or was I able to see directly?
I think you were able to see directly. It was about shortly after she started working there, which was shortly after Sawyer started working there because they started together. Which Sawyer, did we decide?
I think 14 months is what I think we said.
Yep. Okay, so
Something
about
to that
14
effect.
months ago.
It was about, around about maybe a year, give or take a couple months, maybe about 14 months ago.
So right after I started?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't know. That's so a long time ago.
Okay. Were you ever called to do any sort of reporting or observation in one of the back rooms for anything?
Reporting? No, not 14 months ago. That's when I started.
Okay. Well, I'm just curious, because it does seem like you spent some time in that room, like you had a mission. There was something that you went in that room for, specifically to do. And to me, when you spend some time on a task like that, you seem pretty focused.
I mean, that was 14 months ago. I was probably just doing what somebody asked me to do. That's when I just started. I didn't really have any tasks of my own yet. What is going on?
Like I said, we saw you on a security footage.
Why were you looking at security footage of me from 14 months ago?
Well, that pertains to my investigation. And I'm asking questions. Now, Natalie, your name also came up with something that we have been trying to look for a very long time. And I want to know exactly what your connection to the Tyrell Corporation is.
What do you mean
At this
connection to
point.
the Tyrell Corporation?
I'd like to know that.
Well, I was investigating because you asked me to look into it, so I did. I have no connection to the Tyrell Corporation other than the LAPD and Tyrell relationship. We're cordial.
Seems you made a bit of a bigger footprint than maybe you had been aware of.
Bigger footprint? Yes, I was looking at that project. That's what they wanted to know, what I was doing, what I was digging into. What is going on?
Maybe it would be best if we all saw that evidence that you have.
Sure. I mean, absolutely. I think we'd be able to pull that up. The narrator, am I able to get that on my...
I'm assuming
KIA
you probably prepped for it and you have it ready.
I think I probably would
Yeah.
have some evidence there, at least at the ready, to say, hey, this is you. All right, so I take out my KIA and I pull up the video, like, you know what, Skiff? I like it. Straight to the point. And then
I turn to Natalie and I go, I have no idea what's going on or what they're talking about.
Okay, well, I don't either. That makes two of us. And as you play the footage, I'm scanning it. I'm looking at it. Well, yes, that's definitely me. I remember that shirt. I wore that one a lot when I started. Yes, I see I'm going in here, but I don't really remember this instance in particular. I was probably just doing what somebody asked me to do.
What am I seeing?
You're seeing me approach into a room. I walk into the room with purpose. I look around for a second. I see the terminal. Then I walk to said terminal. And then I put something into the computer of said terminal. I make sure that it is on. I touch the mouse a couple times. I look and see that it is done. And I go, okay. And then walk back out the way I came in.
Now, break this down for me, Selma. She's an analyst. This seems like something she'd do as part of her job. What makes this suspicious?
what she uploaded.
What was it? This is
First
our
of all,
workspace. We work here now.
That's
would
my
love
terminal.
I would love for Sawyer to have a chance here.
That's my terminal, Nat.
Okay.
Found some things on my terminal today that have been there since I started. Things that aren't in the standard LAPD package.
Okay.
Monitoring software.
Okay. Are you suggesting
ringing
that
bells?
I started putting monitoring software on your terminal before I knew it was your terminal? Since we started together? Don't be ridiculous! It wasn't your terminal yet!
I would like to do a check here on insight
Yep. On me?
to see
Yep.
see if she's
Okay.
feigning exasperation or she's really doing it.
Okay.
Okay, let's
Let me
see.
get
There we
my
go.
sheet also.
I would like to push. Can I push twice or no?
You can push as long as you don't have a critical failure.
Okay. All right, take one, and I'll take one more.
And I'm not going to push yet.
Wait a
'cause
minute.
I don't think I... Yes. What are we waiting a
Wow,
minute for?
I rolled 3 2s on a d12 in a row.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh no, the first one was a 4. Okay, cool. Well, I took 2 more stress. I got one
Okay.
success.
I am not going to push yet because I don't think I realize the severity of the situation that I'm in at the moment.
Okay.
So, but I am absolutely shocked. It's very, very real.
Okay.
And confused and a little alarmed. You
Okay.
probably don't even need to, you can see it on my face, but also I'm connected to a heart rate monitor. So I'm sure you guys can see my elevated stats. Don't be ridiculous. We weren't even in that office yet. How was I supposed to know it was going to be your terminal?
That's a good question.
Is there a timestamp for when that what tracking program or whatever was installed? Is it?
It's about 14 months ago. It's probably about like a week or two after I started. Or after Sawyer.
Not the video.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Does the video timestamp match the upload
Yes.
timestamp?
Yep.
If there is one.
Yep.
Okay.
It does. It most certainly came from that USB.
And there's no question. Okay.
Yeah, I
There's
mean,
no
like,
question. I'll ask
yeah,
Sawyer.
the timestamps and everything match. So yeah, okay.
There's absolutely no question that was the exact time, and that was the exact carrier of the tracking software or whatever. There's no question in your mind that it
No
happened
question
right
at all.
then. Now, how hard would it be for someone to plant that item on Natalie without her knowing?
Selma, Sawyer, you read me?
Yeah.
Yep, loud and clear. Go ahead.
Can you ask her who was directly above her during that time period when you first started?
Yeah. Who told you to install whatever it is you were installing?
Well, okay, I'm not going to throw somebody under the bus because I don't remember this. I really don't remember this. But I'm not denying that that's me. Clearly, it's me. But somebody must have told me, hey, Natalie, can you do me a favor? Can you go plug this in? And so I did that. But
And how many terminals did you access? Did you access every terminal in the LAPD?
what does
Did
that
you do a
mean?
circuit of the entire office?
But no, you can see me. I go right to the terminal that I'm supposed to be going to, and then I put in the thing, and then I leave.
Okay, right.
Natalie,
What is going on?
who was your boss when you started? Who was your direct boss?
Oh God, who was our direct boss? Oh shit. I need to roll.
Oh, she's probably
Ooh,
just.
is
It
that-
probably doesn't take that long.
Is that connections or insight? We'll do connections, I guess. The best
Would
memory I
be-
got.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, would be like recalling who that was,
Gotcha.
I think. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Let me pull it up here. Leonard. Griffin, you remember? He was the tech person admin watching over. He used to stand there and he was had the weird tie.
Oh, the weird. Yeah. Oh God.
It was like always off the tie.
Was he?
He no
Was it a
longer,
regular occurrence
he
that
no
he would?
longer works there, by the way. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Was it a regular occurrence that he'd give you your tasks for the day?
Well, again, I don't want to throw him under the bus or what have you, because I don't know if he actually told me to do this. I don't remember this, but he was the person above me. What? You're accusing me of something awful.
No, we're asking questions. We're following the evidence like we do. That's our
Okay.
job.
Okay,
I believe you. I want you to know that I believe you.
okay.
But you need to. You are in the way of the bus right now.
I know, but I refuse to just put somebody else in front of it because it's convenient. I don't remember anybody telling me to do this.
Even if they're going against the LAPD that we all swore an oath and work for.
Well, I mean, I would absolutely throw them in the way of the bus if I was confident that they did it, but I don't remember. So I don't want to throw suspicion on someone else.
Listen, like we're not accusing you, we won't accuse them either.
Right.
We'll follow the evidence
Right.
the whole way. We have to.
Okay, well, he was...
We don't want to get the wrong person.
Okay, well, he was the one that would, he was like a sort of semi in charge for the person in charge, Like, you listened to him. If he told you to do something, you did it, right?
Okay.
Right, Sawyer?
Okay. Thank Natalie. One moment. And I turn to the other two. Did you pull up footage from the rest of that day? Like follow Natalie around the office, the LAPD that day? See who she talked to?
So
If not,
sorry, I
can
lost
you?
sound for a second. Can you
I
repeat
did
that?
too.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, sorry. Did you pull up any footage of the rest of that day? Did you see who she talked to? Perhaps who she got orders from or higher ups or anything like that? Because if this is a plant job, like someone planted on USB and told her to do it, that's what I would do. I wouldn't be caught dead uploading something that I wasn't supposed to. I'd have someone else unknowingly do it for me. And that's what I'm thinking happened here. So if not, we need to pull up footage from the rest of that day and see who she talked to.
Fair enough. And I look at Natalie. Skiff says you're all right. But what I do know, Natalie, is that we check everything. Sawyer and I are checking everything.
Okay.
It just doesn't look good. It just doesn't look great.
Great. Yeah,
So-
I understand that.
Okay. Well, then I suppose we should leave both of you to it. Unless, Sawyer, you've got anything else we should
Who's checking you, Sawyer?
discuss? That'd be me. And the rest of my squad.
I had a very strong feeling you'd say something like that.
Of course you say that. It's
If
your
she didn't,
terminal.
If she didn't, I was going to.
Well, it's
But-
my terminal, but we didn't know it was my terminal yet, did we?
No, but who was in charge of the seating arrangements? Did you not choose your desk?
Did I choose my desk?
Did you? I'll let you decide.
Frankly, I don't remember.
Well, I chose mine.
Lucky you.
I'm assuming everybody got to choose their desk.
Well, if I chose this desk by mistake, that means that I've been set up from day one because I really like the light in that corner of the room. It seems a little coincidental for me, for my taste.
Or you did set this up from day one. You knew that someone would give it to me, I would set it up, and then you would choose the terminal and then turn around and blame me. So you're in the clear.
Well, then the question is who would have known that that would be your place?
No one except for you. If you chose it.
I'm not sure I'm following what you're saying. Are you saying that Sawyer could have set this up?
Hold on.
Yes.
That terminal you went to wasn't Sawyer's when you went to it?
No, it was nobody's yet. We weren't even in that part of the office yet. We moved there about a month in. Like, right when we started, they went, oh, we've got a lot of new analysts. We need to give you an office. You know what? We'll take the office in the back. And they all moved us in there. And I got to check my desk, and I feel like most of us got to pick which one we wanted. Which would mean that Sawyer started with me, picked me, or somebody picked me to install this, and then they told you which terminal it was on, and you chose that terminal. Knowing that you'd always have somebody to blame. What's your relationship with Tyrell? Why are you the one? You're the analyst that goes every week. You're the only analyst that works directly with Tyrell.
Copy in their database. That's my job description.
It's not in your job description. No more than it's in my job description. Why did they pick you to go to Tyrell? Who picked you to go to Tyrell? Did you ask for that? Or did somebody assign
No.
it to you?
I didn't request it. It was allocated to me after I washed out of the program.
Who,
Surely wasn't my first pick.
who allocated you? Do you remember?
Who allocated me?
You can roll to connections to see if you remember. Okay,
Assume that means I don't know who allocated me.
that's right.
I just stare off into space and just the
I don't
assignment just
think
turned
that
up
would
for me.
be too difficult to check with personnel.
Okay.
That's not necessarily confidential information.
I'm already on it. You can
Thanks,
pass that
Bob.
along to Skiff. I'm not sure if
Oh shit, that's right. That's right. I don't have my thing in.
Bob's already on it. So,
Okay.
You know, you were very hesitant to throw anyone under the bus until you thought to throw me under it.
Well, I'm thinking now that it made sense to me. It was very clear, and I was panicking because you were blaming me, but... Is it...
No one blamed you. We followed a line of
Okay,
evidence.
you're looking at me like I fucking killed your dog, all right? So don't,
know-
and you are absolutely accusing me, maybe not technically so, but with your eyes. Selma's doing a good job of playing it cool, but you aren't. And what am I supposed to do? You're accusing me of spying for Tyrell. I risked my neck for you. All of you. I could have died. I almost died. Why on earth would they come and hurt me if I worked for them? That makes no sense.
It would be a good cover.
be a great cover.
You know that. Natalie, I'm on your side.
Okay, yeah, it would make a great cover. Just like this whole bullshit with you blaming
And
me
that
would be a good
you-
cover as well.
You are correct about that as well. And Sawyer, you have to be the goose and the gander here. What's good for her, good for you. We follow the evidence or the most logical conclusions. So, the spotlight points to you. You understand. Not saying you're guilty either. I'm just saying, what's your alibi?
The thing that we all have in common, your squad, Natalie, and myself, is that every single one of us has risked our life and limb. Every single one of us has put ourselves on the line to try and figure out what the hell's going on.
And that
And I've known there was someone in the department leaking information for months. And I've been trying to figure it out. This is me following the thread.
Is that why you stopped coming into the office?
I'm not answering you right now.
all right, let's look at this subjectively. Take ourselves out of it. Put ourselves in the position of the mole. If it were me, I'd have a patsy. I'd get someone who didn't know to do the work I needed done. So no fingers would be pointed at me. That terminal, if someone knew it was going to belong to you eventually, Sawyer, that would take you out of my consideration. Natalie, I think, honestly, logically, sounds like you got played and someone used you as a target. And I'm not saying that because, I bought you pie. I'm saying that because it makes sense. The less heat on the person who actually is doing the mole, or who actually is the mole, the better for them. So we need to find out who gave you that information stick, and if it's not them, who gave it to them. Follow it up the chain, because whoever had it originally, that's your mole.
I wonder if we actually have any update on that.
office. I'll let you know as soon as I have an update.
Okay. Over and out. I don't have any more questions. I just wanted to hear the answers. What we do now is definitely figure out something that gives us, a new lead. Natalie, I believe Skiff, and I want to believe you. And I know you have worked very hard for us. You've worked your ass off for us. We'll figure it out.
Who else knows this information?
Bob? People in this room?
Yep.
Who else? Does Gaylen know? Just tell him.
I'm
Am
not
I
sure
safe
we've been-
here?
I'll be here. I'm not planning on leaving until this situation is at least figured out.
Okay.
And we have somewhere else to go.
Well, all right. I'm not sure if we got what we came for, but... And I look at Sawyer. This might be everything we can get. For now. So...
Nat?
Oh, you're talking to me now.
Right now the buck stops with both you and me. But we need to figure out how to pass it on.
Like
The
I
person
said,
that
I'm
really
not
did this.
really willing to throw somebody under the bus unless I feel like it's probably true.
Well, let's make sure that we're probably sure about it then.
Well, I'm like 80% sure about you, I think.
I take out the paper crane from my pocket and I leave it on the windowsill of the hospital room, and I leave.
Selma,
Yeah.
you need to look up that footage from that day, not in the presence of Sawyer. And you need to do it quickly before he has a chance to mess with it, if he's going to.
He's the only one that does the Tyrell job. He goes there at least once a week.
I understand. I know.
I don't want to. I understand that me pointing that out makes it look like, oh, you pointed the finger at me and now I'm pointing a finger at you. But it wasn't until you did that I started to really think about that. If there is one, he's the only one that goes.
Natalie, you're correct. The only two
I've
people
considered that
knew
also.
about that server, had access to it, that we know of,
Wait, what do you mean?
are you and him.
Wait, what do you mean?
No. I'm saying...
Sawyer knew about the server before I told you?
No.
Okay.
No. Who are involved with that server
Okay.
in any capacity.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Are you and him right now? That's why we're looking for anyone else who had access, who knew,
Okay.
who could have given you that data stick.
I'm trying to remember, and I'm just too stressed right now, I think, to remember properly.
Okay.
I'm sure the moment I calm down, it'll just pop into my brain and be super annoying, and I'll let you know when it does, Selma.
Okay.
I understand you're just doing your job, but I'm just a human reacting at being accused of something terrible. I'm sorry I yelled at you.
It's all right. Apology accepted. Sorry to make your blood pressure spike there, but
It's all right. I'm at least plugged in.
I'm
And
also
that
trying to do
footage.
my job, and thank you for acknowledging that.
Yeah.
At this point, and I stand up, I have trust issues, and
I think I
kind
did
of give
too
her
after
like
this.
yeah. So, Skiff, I'll leave you two alone, and I'll
Find that footage.
message away. Yep, I'm on it, and I head out and I join Sawyer.
You're going to stay here.
That's not even why I originally came.
You promise?
I had no idea about that. I promise. I
Just
came actually.
From where I'm sitting, it looks like you came here to make sure I wasn't going anywhere before they arrived with all the questions.
No.
Okay.
You want to know the reason I came here? I had a conversation with Gaylen before I came out here,
Okay.
and with what's
Detective
happening
Edwards?
in the world, yeah,
Oh, okay.
with what's happening in the world and the new edict that's come down, and the new information that I've received. This isn't. It's hard to do the job. And I came here to, I don't know, maybe have you talk me out of it, or maybe have you talk me into it, but I was thinking about quitting being a Blade Runner, quitting the LAPD, the whole thing, because right and wrong are not as easily discernible for me anymore.
You
And I
can.
just needed a fresh perspective.
You cannot talk like that in here. What if somebody heard you?
What do you mean?
You're talking about quitting because you can't do. You know? They might accuse you of being a sympathizer.
Am I?
Are you?
How close to human before you are human? It's that old boat problem. That old...
That's just a ship. Yes.
that. How much robot do you have to have in you before I actually am a murderer for retiring you? Or how little, I guess. That's why I came here. I want to talk to you about that.
Do you want
And to check on you, of course. Make sure you're recovering, all right?
you want me to talk you out of quitting or talk you out of staying?
I want you to tell me what you think.
Are you going to shoot me?
Why would you say that?
Because I don't think that. I think if I tell you what I really think, you would be put in a very awkward situation, considering you haven't quit yet. And I think
Then
that should tell you all
then I
you
have
need
my
to know.
answer. I have my answer then. You don't need to say it. I know what you think. If what you're going to say is going to put you in danger, then don't say it. But that also means we might be thinking along the same lines.
I can't tell if this is an interrogation tactic or not.
Just have to trust me, I guess.
Then I have to tell you something.
Okay.
But not here.
Okay.
And we're gonna switch scenes. Who we going to? Sawyer? Selma? Gaylen?
Oh, God.
Who wants
Sure.
it? Okay, we'll switch to you two.
I'm steaming. I'm steaming mad. Steaming mad. Steaming mad. I'm kind of huffing down the hallway.
I think when you catch up to me, I think I'm outside the same entrance we went through, and I think I'm just positioned off in a way that looks almost like I just want to take off running down like featureless corridor into the rain, but I'm just standing there kind of frozen, just looking up at nothing in particular as I rub the back of my neck, just waiting for Selma.
I guess I look back, or are you near me? Or are you behind me right now? Where are you in relation to me?
Just outside the entrance that we came in through. I think that's, towards the spinner, basically.
Okay, that's where you are. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. I'm coming down the hallway. And in my head, I can hear, for some reason, I can hear that really old Calliope song, that circus song that's like... and that's just going around in Selma's head like, these absolute clowns. And I exit the hospital, and I go up to Sawyer. What'd you think?
I told you she'd try and throw me under. I told you the second that we brought it up that she'd single me out.
Yeah.
I know I'm the Tyrell liaison. I didn't ask for that job. It was assigned to me. And I hate that company more than anything. I would not work for those people. I don't believe in what they do. And I don't understand why I would pull the thread of this conspiracy, why I'd be looking into Avari tricks, why I'd be telling you about OWL models, why I'd be poring over Tyrell data, looking for inconsistencies to share with you all.
Yeah.
Just to be hanged by my own mistakes. It doesn't make any sense that I would start down this route if I was the person feeding information. It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
Me neither. But we definitely need to find that footage. We need to figure out who gave her that order. And when. And I'm sure there's got to be some kind of record of it. If I know records, it's somewhere. Analog, digital or not. I guess we make our way back to the spinner at this point.
We have the timestamp, yeah.
Yeah.
If we do go back there, we can probably pull all the footage for that day and see if we can figure out where that drive starts its journey.
Yep. That's our next step. All right. Kind of shake myself a little bit and I head towards the car.
Not that I really want to go back to the LAPD, but it's not like we have much of a choice right now.
Yeah.
As you approach the spinner, you would see at this point Bob isn't inside of it. He's gotten out. His side is to you. You can see that he's not next to the car. Maybe he was pacing a little bit. He's got a notepad and a pen, and you can hear him talking to himself. But it's pretty focused and calm. You see him look over at you real fast. And as he does, there is a sheepish sort of look. Without even having to roll insight, you would notice that it is embarrassment. But after that moment of embarrassment, he goes back to looking at his pad of paper. And you hear him go, "All right. Well, yeah, I mean, I knew that. That's fine, but... Okay. Thank you. He turns toward the two of you as you approach.
You still have your comms filter on, by the way. Don't know if you knew. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, no, you're fine. Oh. Thanks.
Appreciate it. He looks over at the two of you, and you would have heard his side of the conversation. The things you would have heard him talk about from his side is how long? 5 years. And when he gets to you, he goes, all right. I heard how it went in there. I don't know everything you picked up when you were in the room, but it didn't sound... She sounded adamant that it wasn't her, from my point of view. So let's work off the assumption, right now, that it was someone above that set her task. And even with the accusations that she was throwing at you, Sawyer, and then at this point, Bob looks Sawyer in the eye and goes, that's not an assignment of guilt. Even if you chose that workstation could have been chosen before anyone sat down. And when someone sat down at it, it was them. Or it was just something that was put in motion beforehand. But we can only work off of what we know. So I looked up this Leonard Griffin. He was with the LAPD for 5 years. He was actually going to retire when you lot showed up. He was asked to stay on for onboarding, which he did. Do you remember him? He wasn't
Do I
a very
remember him?
vocal person.
I think you already rolled for that. No, you did
And
not.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Honestly, I spent a lot of times in stacks of paper and data disks rather than memorizing
It's fine.
faces and names at the time.
I always wore this weird tie. Stood out. Anyway, so I looked into that, and then the current manager, responsible for assignments and whatnot,
This one you know. This one you know for sure. Go ahead, Aaron. Sorry.
was Ratty Meta. Just for the sake of being thorough, I just asked for some tertiary, high-level information about her. Well, we all know her. You've seen her. She doesn't stop talking. But she's good at what she does. She's been there for 15 years, so, I mean, at this point, it really comes down to if Nat was directed to do this thing when she first got in there, it does make logical sense that she would just be following orders. It's what you do when you're fresh, when you're sort of green, or when you're new to a place. You're just going to do what you're supposed to do. Her walking in and sticking that into the computer, it doesn't necessarily make her guilty. That being said, and at this point, actually, I would like to roll for something if I could.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
After listening to the conversation between Nat and Sawyer and the time that they, all this sort of stuff, am I able to... I don't know if I knew Leonard Griffin, but I'm curious if me thinking back, if I would have ever considered them to be an odd... I mean, I know they were very quiet. They kept to themselves. I know that. I'm not sure if I would consider them a suspect, because honestly, who would have told them what to do necessarily?
Right.
How far down the line was someone told to do something, if that is the case?
Yep.
So I guess after the information that I picked up while I was on the line, I guess I'm trying to determine if this person, did they... So they put in for retirement.
Mm-hmm.
They were in for 5 years and they put in for retirement. I mean, that's pretty early. 5 years in the LAPD, that's not like... And even for that, I mean, that's almost just like quitting. You're not going to get a big pension unless they came from somewhere else first. So I'm trying to determine if it felt like this person decided to leave very quickly, or if it just seemed like the natural course of things, and they're not as likely to be a suspect.
What do you think you'd like to roll for that?
I'm going to go for observation. I'm trying to get into the head of this person from everything that I just listened to.
That would be insight, wouldn't it? Observation is what you've seen with your eyes.
Well, I know what I've been told. So at this point, I'm trying to remember if I saw this person, if they had a way about them.
Yep. Okay.
But I don't even know if I remember. Based on rolls, I'd rather roll for this before just making that decision.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
So I'm gonna try and remember their one.
Okay. Yes, you do remember seeing them, but you make note that they are pretty much, other than that stupid tie, forgettable.
Okay. All right. All right. So then with that information, can I roll insight? I'm and just to put this out, just so everybody understands what I'm thinking and where my thought process going. I'm trying to see if this person was in a position to get a load of money and was cutting and running. I can re-roll that 3, right? I can't re-roll the 1.
You can re-roll the 3 and take a stress.
All right, I'll go ahead and mark the stress. And I will re-roll the 3.
Woo!
One
well
success.
Done. That's an 8 for those listening. So a success. Okay. So using your insight, you decide to see if there has been a payoff for this individual. How do you think that you do this? Do you look up, are you trying to get bank records, or are you just trying to see if this is something that you could deduce?
Well, okay.
Uh-huh.
Considering that even though a lot of technology is down to analog, money's important. So I imagine when it comes to bank records, it's at least a little bit faster, especially for the LAPD to be able to track some of the stuff, at least on World. So I would have put in a request before I was done talking with the LAPD about Leonard Griffin, and I would have requested some information about some bank records, even if it's light, any sort of transactions that would have been after they retired of a noticeable amount.
Okay. Because you chose to do insight instead of like tech or anything else, there's a little bit of intuition involved in that. I'd like to give you this in that you search for this payoff. This is 14 months ago. So remember the blackout happened like 15 months ago.
Right.
So records are definitely being kept analog now. But you're not going to find anything that's odd here. You just have a total balance, but it's pretty high, this balance. Like, it's a lot more than you'd think somebody from the LAPD would have. And I think I'm going to give you that it is strange that they announced their retirement shortly after the blackout, which on the surface seems like, yeah, okay, that stressed you out, you're done. Makes sense. But also, if they got their payout right before the blackout hit, then...
It's suspicious.
Yeah, it's suspicious.
All right, so...
Or if their payout was to be arranged after the blackout recovery happened, then yes. Suddenly their balance is bigger than the bank remembers and nobody can prove anything.
All right, so I'll turn to Sawyer and Selma.
And that would apply for anyone in the LAPD.
It looks like Leonard Griffin, from the information that was passed to me, may have come into a little bit of money before the blackout.
Huh. Okay.
More money than what he would have been paid by the LAPD. It's a connection. It's a thread. I think that that might be our next stop. Is Skiff coming?
I agree.
Is Skiff gonna come?
I don't know. I don't know, Bob. He's in there right now.
That's probably.
He was in there when we got there.
Yeah, that was. I guess that's not too surprising.
Right.
Seems to have an affinity. All right.
I understand that, but we're out here busting our asses doing our job. And what? What, he just gets to take a moment and just go hang out with someone who we might actually consider a suspect? I'm losing it, Bob. I'm losing it. I feel like I'm losing my shit.
Hey, if he's with her, at least someone's keeping an eye on her.
I mean, I guess, but I still found it. At least I let him know, like, hey, I'm at the hospital. Your partner, the squad is here. He didn't even. Bob, can you drive us? Can you just drive?
Yeah. I'm gonna get in. Did I get an address of any sort for Leonard Griffin? I'm not sure how much information I would even have on him outside of before.
I think, well, yeah, so in terms of before, there's probably not much. And I'm going to also give you that when the blackout happened and you were in charge of rebuilding the database, and by you, I mean the tech team was in charge of rebuilding the database, priority wasn't really given to the people who work there because everybody assumed like, well, you're LAPD, we trust you. And priority was maybe put in other places. So I think it was entirely up to you as an individual to make sure that you gave the tech people the form that gave all your information and yada, yada, yada. And so I think it's safe to say a significant portion of the LAPD is left filled out. Leonard is one of those.
Sure. All right.
Very conveniently, you guys have nothing now.
Well, there is the billboard. That's a lead.
Remind me of the billboard.
The way that the network is set up is that it has a relay point. And I was trying to figure out where that was. And best as I can tell, it's set to relay to one of those floating advertisement things that does laps around a few blocks.
Right.
They've used that as the relay point, which is very clever, but...
Okay, I remember that now. Geez, I feel like that was a month ago. Right.
All right, let's
Okay, I mean, let's head out. We've got some more work to do.
Oh yeah, let me get a hold of Gaylen.
Narrator, I have a final question, actually. Something that's been on my mind ever since we left the hospital.
Uh-huh.
I want to know what the look on Sawyer's face was when he said, "It's not like I actually want to get back to the LAPD." He ran his hand through his hair. I want to know what he looked like when he said that. Like if he actually meant it in that moment. Can I ask that, or can I ponder it? That's what I'm thinking about right now, because I want to know, because there is this
contested, right? You do your insight and you do manipulation. Let's go.
Okay.
Oh my god. The mental PvP this episode.
I hate that's my first good roll.
All right, what am I rolling? An insight?
Insight, yep.
No.
If you wanna argue for advantage,
I don't think I
would be the
can.
time.
Well, I don't have any more resolve. I'm already stressed to the max here, so I don't think I can push.
Well, you took one, but that was a couple of episodes ago, right? So technically,
Yeah, I
you
did.
once you take that critical stress, you go back to full, if I'm not mistaken, and then you start over again. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I guess I could try, oh gosh, how do I, help me out here. How do I do this again?
Well,
Push.
So if you hit the push, you'll get the matrix, and then the section for just the 4, because it's a weird sort of matrix.
Yeah.
For just the 4, just re-roll that one. It'll keep the 8 and re-roll the D8.
So, oh God, I'm so sorry. Is it the
fine.
D8 plus D10 or just the D8?
Just
Like there's-
so it'd be just the D8 that you'd re-roll.
This is a whole lot for probably nothing. I'll keep that. We'll say I don't figure it out. I just kind of let it stew and sit there.
What was the question again? And I can just give you at least what you'd pick up.
Yeah.
So it was when we were heading out of the hospital and we were making some, I think, chit chat or something. And you said, well, it's not like I want to head back to the LAPD, and you ran your hands through your hair. And my first thought was like, because Selma's having, well, I'm having some episodes, but this has been like a trust issue, and so she wanted to look at your face and see, whether you're not you were sincere about it.
Press X to doubt.
I believe that. Right, exactly. I believe that people tell the truth in idle chit chat all the time. So I was wondering, really, like, is that true?
Near as you could tell, it's just every time he's in the LAPD, every time I'm inside the walls, I'm a bit of a mess, and I only seem to relax a little bit when we're not there. So I think that's the connection that you draw, is that like I'm just very stressed out whenever I'm inside the LAPD.
Okay, got it. That's all.
Gaylen, are you there?
Roger.
Can you actually, instead of the hospital, can you meet us at the LAPD? Really gonna need your help.
Everything all right?
No, but I'll avoid passing it over for now. When we get there, we'll fill you in.
Copy.
All right. I'd say let's get going.
Yeah.
I want to attempt to do something.
Yeah, what would you like to attempt to do?
Once we get into the car, I want to find a radio station that I guess I would think is calming.
Oh, okay.
So I know where I was at, and
Are
I'm
you
seeing
relieving
the
a
same
stress?
thing.
Is this like a sneaky way to relieve stress?
I'm trying to help them. I don't have the ability to really do that, but I am recognizing my own shit that I just went through. I also recognize that Selma is where I was a little while ago. Maybe not as murderous, but she's pissed off. And Sawyer looks like a rabbit ready to run. So I think that I'm just trying to find something chill, maybe classical. I don't know. I'm just looking for something.
Okay. Yes, you can do that. So go ahead, and we'll just say that you do that. You don't need to roll for that. But what I would like you to do is roll observation at disadvantage. Selma, you can roll observation straight, and Sawyer, you can roll observation straight as well.
Observation. Got it.
I got one
Wow,
success.
even at a disadvantage. Holy
With
shit.
disadvantage, yeah.
Okay. As you are getting ready to leave, you see Skiff and Natalie leaving the hospital. Skiff, were you in an LAPD cruiser or a spinner?
No.
Okay. So what did you just take a cab?
No, I took my vehicle.
Your personal vehicle?
Isn't that what we? Oh, yeah, because we decided that's what we drove to the club.
I thought you drove a spinner to the club, but just like not obvious spinner.
Yeah, you parked it far away.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you guys walked. So
Okay, then that's what I
yeah.
brought then. Whatever I brought
I
to
would
the
say
club,
it's
I
like
brought to
incredibly
Natalie.
rare for a LAPD to have a personal vehicle anyway. Vehicles
Okay.
are just super rare in this alt reality. Okay, so yes, they get into Skiff's spinner.
Do we all see this?
Yeah, anybody who passed the observation, you guys notice.
I don't think.
Did you roll observation?
Oh, I didn't.
I don't
I
think
didn't roll.
Summer, yeah.
Oh yeah,
I don't
so
think I rolled.
you-
Should I roll?
Yep, you
Okay.
can roll, and you can roll at normal, so not
Okay.
disadvantage. Yeah.
Okay, that was normal. That was
Yep.
2.
So yeah, you
we all
guys,
see this.
you all see this. Yeah.
Okay, so if I could try and set the scene here.
Yeah,
just so
please do.
visually,
Please. Mm-hmm.
I
think
would like
that
to cast Wall of Fog.
I want to cast send because I'm going to ask him what the fuck he's. Okay, so we are in the air. I think at this point we'd gotten in. I'd found something. It's some sort of synth, classical. It's not great. I'm not into music, but I'm thinking hopefully it'll calm them down. It probably sounds like
Wait.
cat screaming, but we are
Oh, I got
in
you.
the air.
I think. Anyway, let's hope it's still loaded up here. But yeah, anyway, yeah,
Oh,
you're
yeah,
in the air.
you-
Now,
you
the
got
hospital
mine?
has
Okay.
like a specific section for the LAPD, I would imagine. So you guys are in a
Yeah.
like preferred parking type thing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I'd imagine also, there's, since there is air traffic, there'd be zones. So I'm trying to get out of that zone because emergencies happen, vehicles need to come in. I'm trying to get out of the way. And I think as I am pulling away, I'm shifting around the side. Now, I don't know if Skiff was parked in the LAPD like special area or one of the other
I
platforms.
would assume so, unless he says otherwise.
Okay. I would say that we are up in the air a ways when we see it. I think it's noticeable because I doubt Natalie would be moving very easily unless she's right.
Yeah.
So I point, and I think as everyone else looks, just say, what the fuck? That's them, right? That's Skiff, and that's Nat.
Yeah.
That's definitely her. That's definitely him.
Yeah.
I am going to pull the car into a spot to monitor. Out of sight as best as I can.
You don't have to really like pull into a spot to monitor because they get
No,
into
I mean
the.
out of the way. No, I'm completely out of the
But what
it's
I'm
visually.
what I'm saying is you don't really have time to do that. They get into the car and they're leaving. So either you're going
shit.
to you're going to follow them or you're not going to follow them is the option.
Oh, I'm following them. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
So
I am actually going to get below them to try and negate even as much sight as possible, so I can see them from down and back.
okay.
I am against this. I'm gonna.
Oh, let's RP it out then.
yeah, I'll fight
Yep.
you on that, Bob. I
Yep.
want out of the car
Sure.
if you're gonna attempt to follow Skiff and Natalie.
You don't think it's a little odd? They just left.
Oh,
right
I think
after
it's
all that?
very odd. I think it's foolhardy to place our whole vehicle next to them at this point.
Well, I want to be within eye shot. I don't know where they're going, and I don't know
Well,
why.
neither do I. I have no idea. That's the second time I've been left out in the cold by my partner today, and that doesn't feel good, Bob. I don't want to follow these people at present. If you would like to, be my guest. But I need to do some reporting. I need to go back to my office, and I need to report this. It's been like 2 days since I've been able to do that.
I understand.
I can't go on another wild goose chase today. I just cannot.
Okay. Shit. I am attempting to find a place to put her down back at the hospital as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I'll walk. I'll walk.
Yeah. Well, no, just call. You can get a ride. It's fine, but you understand, Selma, this is our job, and considering what we found, this is suspicious.
Bob?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Skiff, you read me?
he took his earpiece out. So unless you put it back in, Skiff, I'll give it to you.
Nope.
No response.
Okay. Yeah, Sawyer, you can join me back at the LAPD if you want. You can also go with Bob on this.
No. Yeah, I'm sorry, Sawyer, but you got to stick with Selma. Selma, I trust you. And Sawyer, it's not that I don't distrust you, but it'll be safer.
You're going without backup?
I'll call Gaylen.
Okay, sure.
All right.
I'll out of the car.
I will get down to the closest parking area that I can to let them pop out and then attempt to catch back up.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, this has taken some time from them. Okay. All right. So basically, I will give you a driving roll.
Okay.
Skiff, do you think you were trying not to be followed? Or were you not really thinking about that?
No, I would say that just based on being a cop, that I would be aware of things, but I wouldn't be actively,
Yep.
In cop mode, I guess. Like it's always on idle, but it's like, I'm not turning my peepers on like super hard.
But you're not also trying not to be discovered, is what I mean.
No.
All right.
I would have assumed that they left and they were going about their whatever they were going to do.
Right. Okay. So that means...
I assume Selma was going to do her fucking job.
I'm gonna do my fucking job. Better do my fucking job.
Oh boy. So
I'm in job mode now, baby.
you can do driving, I think. Just a driving roll, Bob.
Sounds good. Actually, I'm glad because I put points in that.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm one of those rare people that has their own ride.
Yep, because you can drive really well.
Because I can
manually.
drive.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Hopefully, now I'm gonna fail it.
so this is a contested flat normal maneuverability roll.
It's not technically contested because he's not trying to hide from you. But I'm just trying to figure out how, like, if he's. Oh.
All right.
Okay.
I'm okay. I'm re-rolling the 4 because I know I'm determined to shit.
Wow.
Hold on,
Wow. Skiff only got 1 as well.
Yeah, right. I'm rolling D10 and D12. I only got 1 success.
Yeah.
All right.
So for those listening, they both rolled 1 critical fail, and then Skiff rolled a 9, and Bob rolled a 4. But Bob's pushing it. Go ahead, Bob. You guys matched the fucking rolls. 9 and 1. 9 and 1.
That's insane. Yeah.
I hate it.
Oh, it's haunted.
I hate that I got a 1. I can't re-roll that shit.
You can't re-roll it. I mean, you could re-roll the 9, but that'd be very, very risky. So I say you catch up. You know, kind of like the way that he drives, and you.
Oh, yeah, all right.
Yeah, you're gonna.
How about an observation versus stealth to see if I notice them following me?
Yes, I think that we should do that. So, Bob, you're doing stealth. And this is crazy. Bob, you're doing stealth at advantage because you're a police officer. But Skiff, you're also doing observation at police officer because you're always on idle. So it's 2 advantage rolls against each other.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
What's
your stealth at, Bob? Just a curiosity.
I think it's pretty good.
My observation's only a C.
Mine's a D. If I could punch stealth, I'd be great. But no, it's a D6.
I'll go first then. Let's see.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, buddy.
Oh, come on.
Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy, you're fucked. I'm gonna see you.
All right.
That's 3 successes for observation.
Oh, 4, 4, 4 though.
Okay, hold on. I would push this.
Yep.
I shouldn't.
Yep. You shouldn't, but you would.
I'm gonna roll all of them again.
I'm out of the car, right?
Yes, you are. Yeah,
Oh,
both
yeah,
of you are. Yeah, both of you are. Skip's not gonna see me following him, right?
Oh God, Bob.
All right, here we go.
So that only cost 1 resolve to do that. Would you like to push any of those again? For just another resolve, you can push 2 of them. The 5 and the 4 if you want to keep the 6.
Dude, you're pushing D6s, man. Just let it go.
The GM carrot.
You have to roll a 6 on 2
GM
D6s.
carrot on the stick.
Just
But
saying.
what if I
You
rolled
could push again.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
You might even get.
Oh, boy, that's what I like to see.
Okay, so actually,
Bob's
so
gonna have a breakdown.
it's not. Yeah, I'm so close.
I'm relishing. This is the closest we've gotten to PvP, and I dig
Yeah,
it.
it's really
Yeah.
good. I'm super into it as well.
Okay, so I don't have the push button for this one.
Oh, really? So
yeah,
maybe
can
go
I
back
just
to
roll
the
2?
original
Okay.
and push
And then
that one and just
roll-
push the 2.
All right, I'll do these
And
two.
we'll know that you've got
not
one
the
success
D10, but
already.
the 2 D6s. All right,
Yeah.
all right. So if I can roll 2
2
sixes.
Yeah,
Boxcars,
I
baby.
believe in you.
So that technically though, that is 2 6s. So you have a 2 versus the 3. So
Okay.
Yep.
really, what happens is that
So you
your
roll a 6-6-4 at the end of those pushes.
yes, that is correct. So you so they cancel each other out, which means that technically,
I'm sorry, what? I have a 3?
yes, you have a 3 and he has a 2. So the 2s
Yeah.
cancel each other out, which means it leaves you with 1.
Right,
So
1 success, yes.
Yeah, so just so that we can role play it properly, it's not like you're Superman. It's like we have 2
Oh, I see what you're
Supermans
saying,
going
yes.
off, like they're like, all right, but
Yeah.
you happen to catch it.
Okay.
So, all right, go ahead.
So now wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean that I
I don't think you know he knows.
So I've got him in my sights.
Yeah. You're following him.
But he knows I'm there.
Yeah, but you don't know he knows.
I wouldn't know that.
No.
Okay. Okay. I will, I'm gonna, while driving, and I just so everyone visually understands what's going on. Bob is doing this. Bob is old lady leaning forward, looking up at the car. So I imagine that even if Skiff didn't recognize the car, he would see the very white shirt and face looking, if he just
Yeah.
looked back casually. I'm trying to do my best. I'm not a stealthy person. And I'm going to contact Gaylen.
Yeah. Hold on before you do that. Just so that I can also add to your immersion, these vehicles in Blade Runner don't really have like a top roof like we're used to. The whole thing is glass. So we're literally seeing him hunched, looking up, and there's no cover for him whatsoever. Because the control panel for driving is in the middle between you, and then if you decide to do manual, the wheel comes out in front of you, and then there's some really cool controls that you can see in the first film. But yeah,
Technically, I should have been above him. I should have
Yeah.
been above him.
yes, but then you wouldn't have been able to see because the floor is solid, right?
Yeah, but
you would have been
if I
able
was,
to
like,
see on your radar, but not.
swerving
Yeah,
and looking out the window. So, okay.
Gaylen, come in.
This is Gaylen.
Alright, this is kind of a weird situation. I'm gonna send you my location, but I'm currently tailing Skiff and Nat. I know that's gonna be a bit of a surprise. I don't wanna pass everything right now. But I'm wondering if you can back me up.
Roger. Where?
Alright. So we've just left the hospital. I'm not sure what our destination is going to be. I'm holding back, and I think he seems to be holding a straight path. So I'm hidden from him, but what I'll do is I'll give you continual updates for our destination. So you can sort of start coming that way.
Just pass me the details.
No. Alright. I'll contact you if anything changes. And I'm sorry, I'm putting you in the dark here a little bit, but I'll explain everything.
Understood.
Alright, Bob out.
And I'm gonna continue following.
Okay. In that case, I think we'll switch to us. Zeke.
Okay.
Okay. And where did you take us?
As soon as I noticed that I was being followed by Bob, I'm going to turn to Natalie. We have a tail.
What?
Yeah, it's my partner's. No need to worry.
What, they really don't believe me.
It's not about believing you.
Okay.
It's about being a detective.
Okay.
It's about not believing anybody.
All right.
So, change of plans is if you feel comfortable with it, we're gonna talk in my car. We're gonna talk right here.
Okay. Is it safe to do so?
Honestly, I think so. But I'd say 90% sure. But it's either that or we try and lose Bob. And even though I feel like I probably could, that raises so many questions. My plan laid out is we have this conversation, we go, we get ice cream, get back in the car,
Okay.
go back to the hospital. If anyone asks, what's your favorite ice cream spot?
Okay.
And you really, really hate hospital ice cream or something of that nature.
Okay. This is going to sound crazy, but it's not about not trusting you. It's about not trusting anybody. I don't think I can have this conversation in an LAPD car.
Okay.
So I'd rather have it at the ice cream shop. Even though that could also be dangerous, I feel like it's less dangerous.
Okay. I can do that.
Okay.
Want to share a banana split?
Yeah, I love banana.
You can have the cherries. Not a fan.
Okay. Where are we going for ice cream? Is it your favorite place?
Now, that's a good question. Do I know this area? Because
I'm
we're
assuming that
in
you
Sector 1? Or no?
The hospital, I believe, was like right next to the LAPD.
Okay.
Did
Okay. Then
we
yeah,
decide
I
that?
probably know
Yeah,
this
so you're
area.
very
Yeah.
familiar with the area. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, I find a nice ice cream shop. That's if you and the reason why I know it is because if the owner is tending, he'll put a little rum in there for you if you want.
Oh, perfect. And I absolutely want that. Definitely should not be having that, but I want that because I'm stressed a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So they've taken our order. I'm clearly still a little bit anxious, and I'm looking around, waiting, I guess, for your partners to just like jump through and go, gotcha. So what? Am I expecting him to come in here and like them to watch us?
They'll probably be watching us, but they can't hear us.
Okay.
I took out my piece,
Okay. You promise?
but I promise.
Okay.
I don't want to see any harm come to you, Natalie.
Well, it's funny that you say that because I think I might be in a little bit of trouble.
Save it for the ice cream shop.
Okay.
That was a good idea. All right, I'm assuming it's not that far away.
No, it's not that far.
Okay.
Yep, so we can be at the ice cream shop. Bob rolled pretty well he matched you. So you're going to arrive about the same time, Bob. So if you choose to kind of like enter in and watch, that's totally up to you. And if you want to try to get close enough to hear us, then you're going to need to roll. But for now...
Oh, and I'm setting up facing all
door.
doors and that corner booth, all that shit, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you order banana split with cherries? I'm just curious, and with rum in it? Do you order anything else?
The banana split to share,
then
I get a shake.
Ooh, okay.
A rum raisin.
Okay, rum raisin. All right. Okay, so I'm looking around the
minus the raisins.
The ice cream shop, and I am, I'm nervous still. I'm waiting for the food to come out, but nobody's really around. Like, we've been served and they've left, and somebody came to visit me in the hospital. Somebody from Wallace Corporation. No, that's where I went to university, was Wallace.
Did you get a name?
No, but I have a card. It's not with me, I'm stupid and I didn't bring it. But it is under my pillow. At the hospital.
They have a title?
No, it's something weird on the card. Like, it doesn't really make much sense. I don't know what it is. Some sort of, like, engineer. Which could mean anything.
Does it have anything to do with memories?
I don't know. She didn't say.
She?
Yeah. Dark hair. White coat.
Light blue eyes?
Yeah. Do you know her?
I just met her.
Okay.
Sort of.
Okay, well, she sort of was trying to ask me about what happened with Tyrell. She knew a surprising amount.
As she does.
And I didn't say anything. I didn't tell her anything, obviously, but she said, you don't have to tell me anything. You can just listen and consider what I have to say. And I am considering what she has to say.
You and me both, Tiger.
Okay. That's a little bit of a relief. That's why I'm telling you, but I have no ties. I was never working for or with Tyrell. That doesn't make sense. I only ever... nothing stands out to me either when I'm thinking about, doing that 14 months ago or whatever. I have no idea. But I am tempted to help Wallace take Tyrell down after what I've learned, I suppose. But there's another reason.
Go on.
They're helping, and I look around. I'm clearly struggling to say this without maybe outright saying something that could potentially get me killed. The ship. They're helping those people. And I think after what I saw when I was taken by Tyrell and interacted with a detective, he didn't hurt me. He could have. He should have. But he didn't.
Now you know why I was considering quitting the LAPD.
Well, I'm not going to quit. I'm going to do exactly what your friends are accusing me of doing, but not for Tyrell. They told me there are people on the force. Ship people. Already. That Tyrell has some sort of program.
I'm sorry, is it ship people?
Ship people, you know.
Oh.
Right? Okay. Tyrell supposedly has some sort of program and has been in agreement with LAPD for it.
Wait a minute. You're saying the LAPD know about this?
That's what she suggested. She said that was possible. She wants me to find out.
Must be a lot easier if we could just act on what we thought was right.
Well, you can. We can. That's what I'm doing.
What did she say that convinced you?
She asked me if I had any children. I do not. But I had a younger sister.
I don't follow.
She said, what if I found out that my younger sister was one of these ship people that Tyrell had made? For my parents.
Maybe that's why I'm still a little on the fence about it. Not many people she could bring up like that for me.
No, but does she need to? That's why. What if? What would I do if it was my sister? Then that's what I should do. Because it's right. Whether it's my sister or your lover or your mother or your father. It was a morality test. And it worked. What would you do if it was me?
If I found out you were one?
Yeah.
I'd let you go.
I would too.
I'm a cop.
Technically, so am I.
How can I do this job? How can anyone trust me?
Because you are trustworthy. You're trustworthy for doing what's right.
Didn't used to be that was different from being a cop. I always felt like I was doing what's right. The big picture.
Well, maybe you were at the time. Maybe what's right changes. You know?
Yeah.
Who passed this law? Oh, Wallace representatives said they were going to work on repealing it, but that it would probably take time. So, the best way for me to help, frankly, is to manipulate data on people you find. That's what I was going to do. And I wasn't sure I was going to do it until Sawyer accused me of it for Tyrell. And then I realized I absolutely would do it, just not for Tyrell.
I'm sure you've asked yourself this question, but I need to know personally. I need to hear you say it. Is this thing you believe in, this, what we're talking about, is it worth dying for?
You are going to shoot me?
No.
Okay.
Someone might, especially if they find out.
Yeah, I know.
Is it worth dying for?
I think so. It's scary, but I think it's the right thing to do. I think if you were going to kill my sister and I knew, I would do my best to stop that from happening. And I think that idea, that doubt has infected me, and no matter what now, I'm going to see my sister, or I'm going to wonder, I won't be able to live with myself if I don't do something. I can't tell if I've been manipulated, flipped. But it doesn't feel like that.
Best way to recruit an army is to let them think it was their idea.
Yeah, I believe me, I thought about that. But
That's what I'm thinking about right now. After I talked to you, that's what I had planned to do. Planned to just drive
quit.
somewhere, anywhere. Think about it. I had made up my mind that I was going to quit, and then one of my partners talked me out of it. Well, at least talked me into thinking about it first. So, that's what I was gonna do after I spoke to you. Now all of this has come to light, and I'm forced to make a decision a lot quicker than I imagined. But I think you're right. I think it's time I believed in a cause. I've never stood up for much in my life.
Me either. It's a lot scarier than, than the movies. They always just know what to do, and then they do it, and they seem fearless.
Yeah. Not conflicted at all. Not able to see both sides like a human. Or so to speak. The one thing that keeps going round and round in my mind, though, sure, I could be killed, I could be arrested, put in jail. The thing that really, really sticks with me. So what if Selma finds out?
I cannot help you with that.
I know. It'd break her goddamn heart. I know how she feels about those people. And she would not entertain the idea of a partner that entertains my ideas. All right.
Even if you quit, you're only putting distance between the truth and her and you. You're not erasing it, right? There's still a possibility she could find out that you're helping if you choose to help. If you choose to quit and not do anything, then you know. But if you do choose to do something and stand up for something, for a cause.
Yeah. I think I'll do just that. How's your banana split?
I haven't had any yet. I will know. Thank you. It looks and smells delicious. I feel so relieved. I could cry.
Yeah.
And we'll switch scenes. Gaylen. Where the fuck are you?
Well, I have been sent back and forth now from LAPD back towards where Bob has directed me. So I imagine I'm approaching wherever Bob said to meet up. Right here is fine. Push the button on the drop-off screen, I imagine. Back of this cab. Start looking for Bob.
So Bob would have parked the car out of the way, but in a place he could have gotten to as fast as possible if he saw the two leave, and then he would have walked and tried to find a place that was outside of this place, this joint.
Like maybe you could... So a lot of the lore that already exists states that the space is at a premium. So a lot of these places don't have roofs. They're not indoor. They're like outdoor street things with, maybe a little bit of a thing. But I think Skiff probably specifically chose a place with one of the few remaining indoor spaces with walls and things like that. But I think it's safe to say that perhaps you can kind of like peer in. You saw them pass by a window, and you can assume he's sitting in the corner booth where there's no direct window to read lips or see their conversation.
Well, there goes some of my questions. Okay, so I think that for the most part, I don't know what's going on, and it could be innocuous. It might not be a big deal. So I think that Bob would have sent a location for Gaylen that was essentially across the street. Maybe a bit of an alley, sort of dark. And I'm watching the door to see if they leave. I don't think I'm comfortable going in there. I don't know anything. And I'm especially cautious. Normally, Bob would have probably walked in and said, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
But he is super cautious. So yeah, I'm across the street.
Okay. And I'll just let Gaylen see you and arrive and rap on the window whenever.
You can hop in. I'll fill you in.
What the hell is going on?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize. We thought we found the mole. We thought it was Natalie. We have some, and I pass over my KIA. We have some footage of her plugging something into this workstation, which it so happened is Sawyer's workstation. This was about 14 months ago. This is around the time that they actually came to the LAPD. We went to the hospital. And I think you probably see Bob hesitate for a minute trying to figure out how much he wants to talk about his emotions, but he goes, we discovered that it wasn't likely her, considering the time period, the timeline for when they first got there. More likely it was a higher up giving her a job to do. I did some research and I found and I hold up the pad, Leonard Griffin, and I passed that over to him. It's the information I was able to get. He retired shortly after. He stayed on long enough to do an intake for them. Some bank account information I've written down there. He received a sizable amount of money right before he retired. Likely.
That's definitely suspicious.
Yeah. The problem is Selma and Sawyer and I had gotten into the vehicle. We were going to head back to the LAPD, and we saw Skiff and Nat leave. It seemed a little suspicious, considering everything she's been through and what we essentially, she was accused of. I was able to keep pace, and now they're inside.
Did you accuse Natalie of these things?
Well, whew. More like questioned her, but Selma made sure to put a little bit of the fear of God in her. She became upset, turned around and blamed Sawyer, and it became a little bit of a back and forth.
So let me get this straight. You approached Natalie with information that Natalie accessed a terminal, and accessing a terminal was a little bit out of the ordinary.
It was a bit of a
I just want to be clear on this.
All right.
How do we connect Natalie to all of this? Because Natalie accessed a terminal.
The terminal that she accessed, that is when the mole started to pick up information from that place, and it was tied to Sawyer specifically since then, or at least to the workstation. I'm a little fuzzy on that. I don't understand the tech stuff as much, but by the sounds of it, Sawyer, the workstation, in tandem. That is where everything leads. That's what we found.
What about Sawyer?
Sawyer's in Selma's care right now. Sawyer had... I pause again. I didn't necessarily trust Sawyer, but they were very forthcoming with the information as they were receiving it. As of right now, I don't know enough. And this, and I point over to the ice cream shop. This makes it more confusing. I don't know if this is just trying to be nice, but Skiff was in the room. He was there when we showed up. So after whatever you two did, which we still need a bit of a briefing on that. After whatever you two did, whatever happened, he went from, I'm assuming you, straight there, considering the amount of time. And now they're here.
But we have no concrete information. From what it sounds like,
No. Other
the
than
most concrete information that we have is Leonard. I'm
Griffin.
looking through the notes. Griffin.
Yeah, Leonard Griffin.
Okay.
I mean, no. I mean,
It says
they
Leonard
also,
Griffin here.
Oh, Griffin. Did I have that wrong? I look at my stuff. Is it Griffin or Griffin?
It's Griffin.
Oh. So Leonard Griffin was... It is very possible, but it's all circumstantial. The only thing we do have is a video of Nat going into the space, plugging something in, and then the data that Sawyer was able to recover showing that information was flowing through that terminal. From what it sounded like, it was the place to trace everything back to. But what Sawyer had located was that this information was going through this terminal out to a billboard that is circling the LAPD and then to another location.
And how do we know that Natalie is the person that did that?
All we have is the video there of her plugging it in, and that being in conjunction with the timestamp for when the data draw started.
According to Sawyer.
According to Sawyer. With Selma there, I had asked her to keep eyes on. I'm not saying we trust Sawyer. I'm not sure what to trust. That's why I need your help. Because I don't read people as well as you do. And I'm not sure what this is.
Well, it looks like they're eating ice cream.
Yeah.
Bob. What would you do if you found out that Natalie was a sympathizer? What would you do?
My job.
Specifically, what is your job?
After they discovered that it was Nat, I was ready to go in there and interrogate her. I was ready to kill her. Just like I was ready to kill Sawyer. In conjunction with the job.
What about Sam?
You mean you mean the fake Sam? Would I retire them?
What if they're the same person?
Well, they're not. They can't be. I mean, I don't know what my Sam was, but what are you getting at?
I'm trying to figure out how easy of a choice this is for you, Bob.
How easy of a choice.
You find out Natalie's a sympathizer. You shooting her in the head the second you see her. about Sam? You find out he's a replicant all along. What are you gonna do, Bob?
My job.
What is your job, Bob?
To take down replicants and sympathizers. I will say, I don't know if Nat is a part of this. I don't know if she is responsible or a patsy. That information is important. In regards to this situation, to this case, are you asking would I just go in there and shoot her right now?
Yeah.
No. I need information. She might have it. I turn away from the ice cream parlor for a second. I turn towards Gaylen. I was ready to do what was necessary. Selma talked me down. I think that might have been your job to do, but...
That's the bit right there, Bob. What is necessary?
It's
How
hard
much?
to say.
How
It's hard
much?
to say.
How much evidence do you need before you pull the trigger? Because the way that you're talking right now, it kind of sounds like the barest hint of evidence is going to be enough to justify you pulling that trigger.
She was talking to Sam. I mean, whoever that was. I wanted to know. I need to know. Is she working with him? Did she know Sam? My Sam? Is she the reason
The reason what?
that she died? Is it her fault? Was she a part of it?
That who died, Bob?
You know who.
I nod my head slowly.
Do I want to go in there and shoot Nat if she's a sympathizer? No. I'm doing the job. I'm not trying to be a murderer. I don't know what would happen unless I'm faced with that situation. If she's right in front of me and I find that out, would I just pull out a gun and shoot her right there? I don't know. It's the job.
We're not weapons, Bob.
How are we not weapons? How are we not just weapons? It's in the name. All we do is attack. That's our job.
No. You're boiling the job down to killing something. Or retirement, or whatever it is that you want to call it.
But it's not.
You make a choice, Bob. And part of our job is to find evidence.
Yes.
Evidence of wrongdoings, crimes.
But that is a crime. And it's punishable. And it is written down and it is passed. It's my job. But I don't know. In that moment, I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't want to. I don't want to kill anybody. What would I
Sure
be if I
about
just
that?
wanted to of course I'm sure. I don't just go around killing people left and right because there's a hint.
Good.
But for those that were responsible for the blackout, that was a crime. And I would retire every single one of them involved. And I would kill, if needed, in a proper moment. If I was aggressively chasing someone and they were violent towards me and they were involved, yes. Because that's a job. But would I just walk in there and shoot Nat? No. Because that is not the job. Depends on what happens. That's everything. I'm ready to. Always.
I had a talk with Skiff.
Okay. Man.
Bob, how did you feel? Aside from the vengeance. When everything went down. Did you want to quit?
Yeah.
Why didn't you?
I had nothing else. What would I have done? Where would I have gone? I have one skill set. That's my life.
I think Skiff is going through that right now.
He wants to quit.
He's thinking about it.
What the hell happened at that club?
It's not for me to tell.
That's a job. What do you mean it's not for you to tell? We were on an op. You're saying that I need to hear directly from him?
I'm saying that we're partners. If you tell me something in confidence, I'm not going to be blabbing.
What did he say, Gaylen? What did he tell you?
He's thinking about quitting. The rest is for him to tell, Bob.
Okay. I'm going to pull my gun out and place it down between us. And I'm going to get out of the car and go across the road towards the ice cream shop. Are you going to try and stop me?
That depends. What are you trying to do?
I put the gun down as a... You'd know that for me to do that, I was, I mean, I'm never without my gun. Never. It's just always
Do I
there.
know of any backups?
No, I wouldn't have. I mean, I might have a knife on me, but I think we've been partners long enough that you would understand whatever I'm trying to show you.
I'm gonna grab the gun and put it probably like in a pocket. And I'm gonna follow you.
Okay. I'm gonna look back at Gaylen and just I'm just gonna look at him for a second. Then I'll open the door and I'll go inside and I'll look for him.
Yeah, I think you see them sitting at a table with, it looks like a banana split and a shake. And Natalie's laughing. I think Skiff clocks you immediately.
I hesitate at this scene of what I'm seeing.
You should get the rum raisin. It's really good.
I walk over to this booth that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
Mind if I sit down?
Please.
Sure.
I slide into the booth right next to Skiff. Right next to him. And I wave Gaylen over if he's walked in at this point.
I probably would have been outside,
Okay.
just kind of keeping things in my periphery.
Okay, then I wouldn't. Skiff.
Bob.
I want to ask you some questions. I will be direct. Please don't lie to me.
Can I wait until I finish my banana split?
I'd rather not. I'm sorry. And I'll look over at Nat. What did she say to you?
What did who say to me?
I was just
You know.
talking.
Not you. Not you. I'm sorry, Nat. Right now, this really doesn't involve you.
Okay.
What did she say to you? Why are you thinking about leaving?
Hold on. I'm so sorry. Are you talking to me now?
Mm-hmm.
I am. I'm talking to you specifically.
Oh, God. I thought you were talking to Natalie.
No,
no, I was
I
telling
said
her
it.
that-
Yeah, and then he said it's not has
So
nothing to
sorry.
do with you. Yeah, it's okay.
So sorry. Okay,
No,
my
you're
bad.
fine. I
All right.
love the hang, though.
Oh
That-
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Please ask the question again.
Sure.
Okay.
What did she say to you? And why are you thinking about quitting?
I look outside past Natalie. Do I see Gaylen out there?
I'm out there. I'm definitely like keeping an eye on things.
Okay. And I'd nod my head. So you've been talking to your partner. Well, one of them.
Not as much as I'd like. He wasn't really forthcoming. He respected what you said and said that if I was going to ask my questions, it should be to you. Because that's who Gaylen is.
Oops, hold on. Let me try that again. Oh, actually, if you just want to take the first two, like we've done before. Do I notice that Bob doesn't have his gun?
Let's see. Bob, would you hide that?
No. I think
then yeah.
I always have it on some level of display. Yeah, you there is no gun on me. And I think that would clock you as something. I don't know how you want to take it.
I think
but
it's pretty obvious.
That I did not
like,
because
you didn't take your holster off. So you just are wearing your holster like normal, but your gun's not in it, which is nuts.
It is nuts.
I know it's rude, Bob, but I'm going to respond to your question with a question of my own. Forgive me. But did you take your gun off because you're afraid to shoot me? Or afraid you were going to shoot me?
Yeah.
If I were to say no to answering your questions, what would happen, Bob?
An internal investigation that I would have to put forward. They'd be on you night and day. They'd look into your past. They would control your future. There's enough going on that the suspicion would easily fall. We'd all be wrapped up in it.
You really gonna do that, Bob? No one ever want to work with you again. No one ever trust you again. You know that, right?
That's
rat
the job.
to rat.
That's the job, and it's not. Yeah.
Well, seeing as how you talked this over with Gaylen, I'm assuming he said something along the lines of, it's not his story to tell. Got that right?
Yeah, verbatim.
Yeah. Bob, I'm a cop. You're a cop. I'm not an executioner. And that's what they're asking me to be. I haven't made a solid choice about what I'm going to do with that information or that new thought process. But yes, I thought about quitting. How about you, Bob? Where are you at?
I think some things click in my head. I look at Skiff and everything he's saying. I look at Gaylen and everything he just said in the car. And the themes are just me getting questioned about what I would do. I stand up really fast and I knock the banana split off the table. God damn it! I stand there for a minute.
I will definitely walk inside as soon as I see Bob react harshly. I just step inside.
Yeah, but I do hold my hand up. I clock you, and I... Skiff.
Bob.
I had everything neat and orderly. And I'm going to be honest with you, okay? You're being honest. I'll be honest. I would shoot and retire every replicant if I could. I would go after every one until there isn't any more. I'm not stopping, or at least that's where I was. And you told me about a child replicant. We talked. You remember, in the gym. I love someone, and they died. And they died, and it was their fault. It is their fault. It was, but I can't. The fact that you had a friend that was a child that was created the same way, and from what you've mentioned, from what little I know, they didn't sound aggressive, they didn't sound violent, they didn't sound hell-bent on destruction. I have a job. You have a job. As of right now, you still have that job. We have a job. But I don't. Gaylen is asking me in the car just how quickly I want to pull that trigger. What am I supposed to do with all this? Are you my partner? Right now, are you my partner?
Yes, Bob. I am.
What am I supposed to do with this? Do I want to go tell on you? No. Gaylen and I have done a lot of shit in the line of duty. A lot of it was in a gray area. Never really crossing over, but close enough sometimes.
Yeah. I think we all have in this job.
Because you have to. You have to make compromises. You have to do it. I fucking hate it.
The thing is, Gray lets you sleep at night. It might be a little bit.
I don't sleep at night. You sleep? There's just
turn a phrase,
danger.
Bob. I can live with myself. I can live with myself with the Gray. But this isn't Gray anymore, Bob.
You're asking me. You're telling me. That what? If there's a replicant, and I'm going after what Gaylen brought up, if there's somebody in front of you, if there's a replicant in front of you, you're not just going to pull the trigger. Unless what? They do something?
I didn't do it before. I don't see a reason to start now. Not really changing, Bob. I'm staying the same. It's the jobs that's changing.
The job's
It's up to you.
changing.
And it's up to you whether you want to keep doing the job or keep doing what you know is right.
What is right? What is right? Blowing up a bomb's not right. I know that, but I'm not saying that it's not.
Bob,
These.
Bob, how did you know what was right before this whole situation? How did you know? Same as how you know now.
I followed laws. I learned. I understood. People do bad things.
You've let people go though before, right, Bob? Unless you haven't, and I take it back. But I've let shoplifters, minor infractions when I was coming up. I let them go. Gave them a little talking to, wagged my finger a little bit, but I let them go.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, Bob. The law is not set in stone to a person. Laws are guide, but it's not the word of God. And that's how I've reconciled it. I'm not changing what I've been doing since I joined the police force. I'm making decisions as they come. Gaylen opened my eyes to that. And he's right.
Fuck! I walk out. I storm past Gaylen. I don't go to the car. I just start walking.
I look at Natalie and I go, that motherfucker owes me a banana split.
I should follow him.